Hello, Internet. I'm Jackie Fox, and much like this channel will be from now on, I am politically non-binary. What does that mean exactly? Well, it means I'm a little bit off the natural American political spectrum, a bit off the beaten course. And I feel like this is a position that needs representation because, a third of American voters are independents. We are politically non-binary. Oh, wow. Actually, factual correction here. Half of America is politically independent because we're sick of the same two parties of do-nothing politicians who the only time they ever seem to get work done it's to benefit their stock prices or to be a detriment to our lives. We're sick of our lives always getting worse with no end in sight that seems to actually improve our status and condition within the world, and we're ready for literally any alternative to that, and that can be a very dangerous prospect when there are people who are waiting to come to power that are outside of this binary that we have now, but much far more terrifying than it. This is how you get the rise of Nazism, the rise of strongman dictator leaders, because people say maybe this person is the exception, maybe this person is the one that we should all follow, and these moments are born from desperation. So instead of desperation, we need a plan, we need a strategy, and we need an idea. And I want to help us come to that idea together.
Now, friends, some people will tell you that this mandatory toothbrushing law is about the secret dental police kicking down your door at 3 a.m. to make sure you've brushed. Friends, it is not. Some will mention the dental re-education centers or the preventative dental maintenance detention facilities. It's about none of these things. It's not about the government-issued toothpaste containing an addictive yet harmless substance. No, friends, it is not even about DNA gene splicing to create a race of winged monkeys to act as tooth fairies. Friends, what this mandatory toothbrushing law is really about is strong teeth for a strong America.
While there's still time.
All right, we've been talking about the tight race for third and fourth place among GOP candidates in New Hampshire. What you may not know is there are third and fourth places on the Democratic side. Former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, who dropped out of the race, is in third place with more than 500 votes. And in fourth place is this guy. This is Vermin Supreme. Yeah, that's his name.
We're becoming overwhelmingly politically non-binary as a nation. Now, traditionally, we often think of independents as being undecideds or centrists, somewhere in between those two positions. But there are a lot of people who consider themselves to be independent within politics, not because they're within the bounds of those two positions, but somewhere outside of them.
An opening 2 minutes to Mr. Vermin Supreme.
Thank you. Gingivitis has been eroding the gum line of this great nation long enough and must be stopped. For too long, this country has been suffering a great moral and oral decay in spirit and in incisors. A country's future depends on its ability to bite back. We can no longer be a nation indentured. Our very salivation is at stake. Together, we must brace ourselves. As we cross over to the bridge work, into the 23rd century, let us bite the bullet, and together make America a sea of shining smiles from sea to shiny sea.
And often when I look at polling, it feels like there's a bunch of really far left people within that group as well. And that's kind of the position that I sit in. I keep my eyes open for news and information that comes from all places within the political spectrum. Anything that's reasonable and seems credible is something that I will lend an ear to. However, I do bring the critical leftist perspective to it and keep thinking about things from a societal perspective as opposed to the more commonly held individualist perspective of the American consciousness. Because the truth is, the mainstream media in this country and the political party that it backs is largely bullshit. It is two false choices on a spectrum of bad ideas. And it's really hard to find a good idea within it. That's why it is important now more than ever to be politically non-binary. We must ask for politicians that represent our feelings, and those nuanced feelings have to come from us. So in order to further develop and grow these feelings into something that is politically actionable, I'm going to be here cheerleading from the sides, being my politically non-binary self, and trying to help you see the light of what is being hidden to you by both sides of the media. Because, hey, they're both liars. They're working for political parties, and it's largely propaganda. That doesn't mean they're always lying to you, but a lot of times it affects the way that they talk about things in a sort of insidious way, and one that's a little bit hard to see unless you were kind of in it. So I, Jackie Fox, will aspire to remain in it and aware of the political conversation, and also aware of what you aren't being told. Because, you know, there's nothing that grinds my gears like knowing a thing exists and then listening to someone pretend as though it doesn't. And so often the media on both sides does this. Now, yep, I'm going to be taking the piss out of the right a lot, although there's already a pretty good ecosystem doing that. And then, you know, largely you just have, well, there's a lot of red browns in the political territory that's taking the piss out of the left. And, if you aren't sure what a red brown is, there are people who took the idea of horseshoe theory way too far and said, I am going to occupy an ideological superposition between communism and fascism. So, you know, that seems to be what people often, creators that end up identifying themselves as politically non-binary end up in that position, and that's not me. I want to be a respite from that. A place where you can come for unbiased information without worrying if I'm a fucking fascist sympathizer, because fuck fascists. Just to make that real clear here within this first video announcing the change of this channel's name, fuck fascists. Am I right, y'all? So, if any of that sounds appealing to you, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me a comment, tell me how you feel about it, tell me you love me. Hit the link in the description to check out the rest of the Jackie Fox Media Empire, including podcasts, videos, books, you name it, we got it. And if you want to help out in another way, maybe not buying a book that sends some money to Amazon, I'm sorry, I'm looking for another publisher. If you could help me with that, I would appreciate it, but here we are. You could always donate on Patreon or Ko-fi. Both of those are excellent options that help keep the bills paid. And, well, I, like you, appreciate the bills being paid. So, any help I could get, would appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.